Hello, hello. Can you see me? Let's just fix that. All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Retire Early Masterclass. How are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing today? Good, doing good, fantastic, great, awesome. How are you? I'm doing good, guys. I just got this new haircut. A lot of people hate it. What do you guys think? Let me know. How is my new haircut? So I went to this fancy barber, fancy salon, and I just told him, you know what, I've not cut my hair in 1 month. You do whatever you want. I'm going to sleep. And then I woke up. This is what I woke up with. He's like, let's shave this off, and he's like, this hair behind is still kept long. He's like, it's the Dhoni new haircut style. Dhoni also has this new haircut, right? That's what it is. All right. Firstly, guys, congratulations for making it here. So happy to see that so many of you guys are interested to learn about personal finance on a Sunday evening, right? Who would have thought? Like when I began doing this about 1.5 years back, I thought like, okay, 500 people will come across the entire lifetime of me conducting master classes. But as of today, more than 2.3 lakh people have taken this masterclass. That's 2.3 lakh people, 230,000 people. Right? Never ever expected that so many people would be interested in learning about personal finance. And also, this masterclass is the last masterclass of this year. Somebody is saying that audio video is not good. I hope the audio and video is both good. If it's both good, please give me a thumbs up. Yeah, because guys, I am on 300 Mbps, very fast internet, directly wired connection. There's nowhere for me to go. I don't need to go near the router because it's a wire which is connected to my laptop. Right? So you're coming back. More than 2.3 lakh people have already taken this masterclass. And this will be the last masterclass of this year. Right? And after that, I know you guys just want to party for the rest of the year. You guys, I know most of you guys have even stopped like working full-fledgedly in your office or whatever you're doing, because I understand you guys are in party mode. But even then, you guys have made time for this particular masterclass because you guys have realized the importance of managing your own money. My ads have done the job, and you guys are finally here to spend 2 hours with me. Now, before I begin, I want to say that this is not going to be a lecture. This is sort of like a concert, right? It's going to be very, very entertaining and educational at the same time. And you guys are going to be saving a lot of money at the end of these 2 hours. How much money will you be saving? For that, we have sent you a masterclass ROI tool. It would look something like this. I'm sure all of you guys would have received this on your email and on your WhatsApp. If not, you guys have not been looking at your emails and WhatsApp messages properly, check it right now and download it and keep it. It could be a Google Drive, so please download it file into your laptop first. Yeah, that's another thing. Please watch this on your laptop, whatever I'm teaching right now, because you're going to have to take a lot of notes as well, because it's going to be a very, very intense next 2 hours. Right, let me just switch on the AC. It's really, really hot. I know it's December, but Mumbai, it's really, really hot. All right, so this is how you will know exactly how much value that you will be getting in the next 2 hours. All right, let us begin, guys. Let us move on. Shall I begin? Shall we move on? Yeah, somebody said, I thought you were in Bangalore. A lot of people assume that because I was in Bangalore for almost 8 years. Last year, I came to Mumbai thinking I'm going to be an actor and all of that. But instead, I became an entrepreneur. I now employ more than 60 people and I have an office. Life has really, really changed after I come to Mumbai. It's true what they say. Mumbai is a city of dreams. It makes you hustle and you become a different version of yourself. Enough about me. Let's get started. All right. Before we begin, guys, I want to ask you guys, what is your dream job? Please put in the chat section, what is your dream job? No job. Chef, gaming, traveler, CA, trading, businessman, CEO, CFO, management consultant, investment banker, data scientist, CEO, trader, teaching, trader, CEO. All right, VP, diplomat, teacher, doctor, investment banker, CEO, businessman, DevOps. I don't know what that is. Okay, all right. Entrepreneur. Okay. As you can see here, most of the answers are about which job makes you the most amount of money, right? Even me, 5 years back, when I was just graduating from college, you know what I Googled? I'm like, highest paying jobs. And guess what comes? Investment banking, management consultant. These are the jobs which come. And product management is a new job now, new kind of job, which is a high paying job, right? These kind of jobs typically pay 40, 50 lakhs per annum. Once you have like 5 to 6 years of experience, you're easily able to get like 40 to 50 lakhs per annum. But the problem is, these jobs take up to 14 to 16 hours of your daily time. You have 24 hours in a day, but these kind of high intense jobs takes 14 to 16 hours per day. So why is that your dream job? Right? Why is that your dream job? Why do you want to give 14 to 16 hours of your life every single day for somebody else? Right? So let us do another question, right? What would you do if I just sent you 10 crores into your bank account? Right now, I go to my ICICI Bank, net banking, I send 10 crores into your bank account, each one of you guys. I will be negative, negative net worth. I'll be like minus 100 crores or whatever, but I'm going to send you 10 crores to each of you guys, minus 1000 crores actually. But what would you do then? What is your dream job then? Retire, I will not go to work. Teacher, travel the world. Barista, agriculture, travel, start a business, startup. Invest, travel, invest, roaming the world, invest politics, hedge fund manager, startup, anchoring, okay, invest, agriculture. All right. As you can see, now the answers are very, very different. So what you've realized is, what you actually want to do is very different from what you want to do today. Because in each and every one of our lives today, because we're living in this capitalistic world where everything revolves around money, right? All of our decisions are based on how much money will it make me, right? Even your parents' influence on you is dependent on how much money you will make. That is the reason that they pushed us to become engineers and doctors, because that is the most safest route to make the most amount of money in a country like India, right? So why do we want to live that sort of a life? Why do we want to live every single day for the rest of our life based on what makes you the most amount of money? Because money, as you know, is something that we invented. Money does not exist. There is no something called money. It's something that the governments of the different countries have invented to determine your value to the society. Money is just that. The money that you have in your bank account is simply a determination of how much value you have contributed to the country. But why do you want to live your entire life trying to make more and more money? Now, the answer to that question is, you will be like, Sharon, if I stop working, what about my rent? What about my electricity bill? What about my Swiggy Zomato orders? What about my going on vacations? Who's going to pay for that? Right? My dad is not going to pay me for that. My dad doesn't have an inheritance to pass it on to me. That's your worry, right? Right? So that is exactly what they're going to learn how to do today. They're going to learn how to achieve a state called financial independence. Financial independence. It is the ability to live your life without being controlled by money for the rest of our life. Meaning, you have saved and invested a certain amount of money, which, when invested in the right places, is making additional baby money to fund your lifestyle. Right? So, all the things that you talked about, travel the world, start a company, agriculture, all of that is possible only when you have achieved financial independence, because only then you will finally be like, I don't want to do my 12 hours a day job. I want to kind of do what I want to do. But most people are never able to achieve that state in life because you have only been taught how to make money. You have not been taught how to manage the money that you have made. 12 hours a day, you are just making money. What to do with that money once it hits my savings account, nobody has taught you, and that is why you're here today. Let's get that into our systems first, and that is why you're here, and that is why it is so important. Somebody is saying that you cannot edit the file. guys, you need to download it first because it's a shared file right now. Then in the file, go download it as an Excel file. Then you'll be able to use it. All right. Cool. Understood why you're here? You're not here to become rich. You're not here to, ikkis din mein paisa double. You're not here to do that. You're here to learn how to be financially independent. Some of the richest people in the world, such as Amitabh Bachchan, Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson, they have gone broke because they didn't have good money management practices. Let us learn how to do it and let you achieve the seemingly impossible, which is stop working for money. Let's move. All right. Before we begin, these are the community partners for today and corporate partners. So basically, now companies are coming to us and saying, Sharan, can I send some of my employees to your masterclass? Right? It's my employees also because I know that I want to give value to my employees. So I want to send all of my employees to your masterclass. So for today's masterclass, we have employees from Porter, we have employees from Visco. So, and also community partners like CoWorks and Great West. So, all of you guys who have joined here from these places, welcome. Welcome. Your employer really cares about your financial well-being. All right. Little bit about me for those of you who don't know. Who hasn't heard of me? Who hasn't heard of me? Please say hi. What? Okay, I can see some messages saying hi. Yeah, a lot of people don't know me. How, bro? How can you not know me? Let me just give a quick introduction about me. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called the 1% Club. I know a little bit of bragging because I need to justify who I am because it's giving me 2 hours of your time. So let me tell you who I am. I was Forbes 30 under 30 Asia last year. More than 4 million followers across social media. I started doing this about 3 years back as a content creator. More than 1 lakh, I said, now it's more than 2 lakh students who have attended this masterclass. And I'm an angel investor in more than 10 plus startups, right? This is again a little bit more about me, a little bit of my newspaper clippings. Of course, I'm sure you guys know who this guy is, right? Who doesn't know who this guy is? Say hi. Who doesn't know who this guy is? Somebody's saying hi for that also. Okay. Yeah. Right, so this is MS Dhoni. I had given him the first copy of my book, Zero to Viral. Basically unlocking all of my secrets about how I got 1 million followers in just 1 year. So I gave him my first copy. And yeah, these are all of my newspaper mentions. There are many more, but just a little bit of credibility establishment. But enough about me. Because today is about you, right? And what is going to happen to you? I wanted to share few of the student story transformations that we get. These are like actual WhatsApp messages that we've collected. There are hundreds and hundreds of them. Just want to show you 3 of them to show you exactly what's going to happen to you over the next 3 hours. But if this is going to happen to you, if you want this to happen to you, there are some ground rules that you need to follow, such as keep your bloody phone on silent because this bad boy is the biggest culprit, biggest villain that we have today to stay focused. Please put all your questions in Q&A and not in the chat. We will be working with 5 financial planning tools. Like I said, this is not just going to be Gyan over the next 2 hours. We're actually going to be using some tools to learn how to implement whatever we are learning. Right? So it's not just going to be mumbo jumbo Gyan. No recording will be provided. We have a strict policy of no recording. I'm actually live here right now. Today is 17th December, 6:15 p.m. actually live in front of you guys. So no recordings are provided. So I want your undivided attention for the next 2 hours. Have a notebook with a pen, right? Take down notes because you think that you'll remember everything, but you'll just forget it. Think of it like reading a book. You read a book, you think you know everything, but 1 week later, when somebody asks you what did you read in that book, you don't know, right? So don't be that person. Have empathy for others. This masterclass is going to go from basics to intermediate to really hard, right? So it's going to be like a journey so that everybody understands everything, right? And please watch this on your laptop, right? Cool. So what we will cover today. Number 1, we will uncover the money myths that have been plaguing your mind. Things that you've been learning from your father, your mother, your friends. Because, see, this has not been taught to us in schools, right? So the only source of information that you have are your friends and your father and your mother. What they also don't, right? They're also trying to figure it out, right? So they are probably giving you the wrong information. So we're going to unlearn all of those things first. Let us reconstruct your foundations before we learn new stuff. Next, we're going to learn what is financial goal-based planning. We're going to learn asset allocation. We have some very, we have some financial asset allocation for different financial goals. We're going to cover that very soon. It's going to come in the next half an hour. That's a very important part of the masterclass. If you're not understanding what I'm talking about right now, it's okay. I'm going to cover the full nitty-gritty details of everything as we proceed. Then we're going to learn how to invest like the top 1% of this country. We're going to learn how to invest in equity mutual funds. We're going to learn how to invest in debt funds. We're going to learn how to invest in gold. We're going to learn how to invest in US equity. All of that will be covered. Then we're going to also have 5 exclusive tools. Now here's the thing, guys. If you want to get access to these tools, you have to stay till the end of the masterclass. We know exactly all the email IDs which have stayed till the end of the masterclass. So if you want access, you have to stick till the end. Then we're going to learn some insurance scam case study, which is probably going to affect all of you. I'm sure your parents are already scammed to this. You are also probably going to fall scam to this in the next few years. So I'm going to teach you how to avoid that. This hack alone will probably save you like 50 to 60 lakhs, right? And the last one is my secret tax saving hack, which most CAs also probably wouldn't be knowing. And this particular hack will also probably save you like 15 to 20 lakhs. And purposely, I've kept both of these things towards the end, right? Because I want you to follow everything, right? So, without any further ado, let's now kickstart. First, starting off with the money myths. First one, house prices only go up. Now, this is something that everybody has been told, right? When we are growing up, our parents would have told us, Sharan, invest in land, buy a house, because house is a very safe asset class. The house prices always go up. But stock market, that is very risky. Don't gamble with your money in the stock market. Please put your money in real estate. So I want to show you something which is probably going to shock you, right? Let me just remove my WhatsApp. All right. Can you see this? Yeah. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Yeah. So this is an article which was published in 1997, where they talked about how real estate prices in India fell by up to 40% in all the metro cities. I'm talking about Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad. The prices fell up to 40% in these cities. Now, this keeps happening regularly, but not as frequently as stock market. So, newspapers do not really cover this kind of news a lot. Guess why? Because most of the sponsorships that newspapers receive are from builders, real estate companies. These are the companies which give money as advertisements to newspapers. So they don't really cover the negative sides of real estate. Now, our only source of information today is social media and newspapers. Now, if they're not talking about the negative effects of real estate, how will you know about it, right? So I had to go all the way to 1997 to show you the reality of how even real estate prices can also go down, right? So that is myth number 1. Next is the lure of magnificent returns. I'm sure you guys have, heard this story from your dad or uncle that, I invested, Sharan, come here. I invested, 20 lakhs in this house in 2003, and guess the price of the house today? What's the house? What's the value of the house? It's 2.5 crores. Right? And then they kind of just brag about it and they hold their peg and then, they're like very proud, like as if they are like Warren Buffett or something. Now, this story is true, right? It actually happened. But do not assume that this will happen again in our lifetime. Real estate price had a significant rally in the first half of this millennium, right? It is not going to happen every few years. See, like I told you earlier, real estate cycles are much longer compared to stock market. In stock market, in a matter of 10 years, there will be at least one bull run and one bear market, like up market and down market. But in real estate, that cycle is much slower, right? What most experts say today is whatever we saw in early 2000 for real estate will not happen again in the next 100 years, especially in India, because India has already seen that big real estate boom happen. It is impossible for that to happen again. Let me give you an example. Let us say, for example, the average house of a 3 BHK house in Bangalore is 1 crore. Right? It's 1 crore today. Now, if you assume that it will become 10x in the next 10 years, similar to what happened to your, your uncles and dad, right? Let's say it becomes another 10x. You're telling me in the year 2033, the house price of a 3 BHK house in Bangalore will be 10 crores? Who is going to be able to afford that? You see, prices go up only when there is demand. Only when there is demand, there is price discovery happening, right? When there's buying and selling, that's how the prices go up. Simply the prices won't go up. So there's no buyers for that higher price. The price is not going to go up, right? But back during your uncles and dad's time in the early 2000s, you can ask them. They will only tell you real estate was so cheap. Nobody valued real estate that time. They were like, yeah, real estate is very cheap. Buying land is very, very cheap, right? But that's not the case today. Today, if you tell somebody land is cheap, house is cheap, right? You also know that it's actually not true. It's actually really expensive today, right? So we've already reached a bubble territory when it comes to real estate. And the last thing is people think house is an investment. Now here I will disagree and I'll tell you why. For something to be called an investment, it needs to be bought and sold. Because only when you sell, you get a profit. Only when you get a profit, it's called an investment. Agreed? Now let me tell you, let's say you are in your 27, 28 years old, you got married and you bought one house. Right? Now you're like, okay, I made an investment. Right? I'm making, like, let's say if you're making 1 lakh rupees per month, 50,000 rupees you're paying EMI and you are like very proud. Like, I made a big investment, I invested in the house and all of that. Now let us say, first thing is, most people never sell their houses. Right? Like, even if I tell my dad, if I talk about, selling the house, once they are not around, if I talk about that, they'll get very emotional because house is such an emotional thing, right? People don't sell their houses, right? Even if you get a big profit, you don't sell your houses because there are so many memories attached to the house. So reason number one why house is not an investment, because you're never going to sell it. If you cannot sell the house, where is the profits, my friend? You cannot have the house and, like how is that profits that like let's say you invested 1 crore, 10 years later, let's say it's worth 3 crores. You're like, 2 crore profit. But where are you spending that 2 crore? Your kids want education to go to US MBA, 1 crore, where will you get the money? You not sell the house, right? Your daughter wants to get married and it's a 2 crore wedding or it's a 50 lakh wedding. You can't sell the house for that. But you're not going to sell the house. You're going to still find other ways of making money. You're not going to sell the house. But even if you do sell the house, can you please tell me in the chat section, what are you going to do with that money? Can somebody tell me, if you do sell the house, what are you going to do with that money? Yes, reinvest, buy another house. Exactly. You're just going to buy another house. And why? Why are you going to buy another house? Can somebody tell me why? To save taxes. Exactly. You're going to buy another house to save the tax. Like, there are so many people today who have 3-4 houses. Why? Because they just want to save the tax. Like, even if you made that 2 crore profit, if you don't buy another house with that 2 crore profit, the government will be like, boss, I want 20% of that as my commission. That's what the government is going to say. Right? So you're just going to keep buying another house. So you're just going to keep buying a bigger and a bigger and a bigger house. So it's like, getting a car. You're just getting a bigger and bigger car. But is that really an asset? I don't think so. Buying a bigger and bigger house, according to me, is for the house that you're living in, right? If you're giving it for rent, it's a different situation. But if the house that you bought for living in it, and if it just gets bigger and bigger over time, it's not an investment according to me, but because that house is not going to pay for your Swiggy Zomato order, it's not going to pay for your education, it's not going to pay for your vacation, it's not going to pay for your iPhone. None of that. It's just a lifestyle expenditure. So get that into your mind exactly. What exactly is an asset and what exactly is a liability. That I hope that is understood. If not, we will go into a deeper dive into the decision of whether to buy a house or rent a house. We're going to get into the numbers very, very quickly. It's going to be a really, really exciting exercise, and a lot of people's mind just blows away once they see that exercise. It's going to come in another 10 minutes. So please stay tuned for that. All right. So just another point over here for people who still think house is going to grow in value. This is some real data of what has happened in the top 5 cities of India. Look at this data. 4.5%. This is like 10 years of CAGR growth of real estate across different cities. 4.5%. Delhi 1.2, 5.2%. Chennai 4.8%. Bengaluru 5.7%. Hyderabad 3.5, 7%. Right? So it's not even growing that fast in the last 10 years. This is 2009 to 2022. Right? And you know what stock market has given, right? It's given us 14.5 or 15% CAGR, just the index. right? A lot of people have made 20-25% returns as well. Okay, what are the other myths that is spoiling your investment decisions? Risk appetite depends on age. A lot of people think that if I am old, I cannot take a lot of risk. Case in point, your parents. And even if you are someone who's in 45 or 50, you'll be like, okay, I'm going to retire in the next 10 years, so I can't take risk with my money. That is why a lot of people have invested so much in FD. Even today in India, almost 50 lakh crore is invested in FD. 50 lakh crore. And guess how much is it in mutual funds? Just 20 lakh crores. So much more money is in FD compared to the stock market of India. That the situation is very, very different in countries like US. Only 4% of India invest in stock market. 55% of the US invest in the stock market. So
Then the
big
stock
difference,
market
a
invest
lot
mutual
of room
fund.
for growth for India even today. But the point I'm trying to make here when it comes to the risk appetite is that people think that because they are old, I can't take risk. At the same time, people are also making the mistake that because I'm young, I need to put all my money in the stock market. Right? Let me give you an example. So 2 years back, I had to go for my MBA. Right? I got into Columbia Business School for my MBA, and guess what? It's 2 crores. Right? My dad doesn't have 2 crores. I had like 10 lakhs of savings, and of course, I had to take a loan as well. Now, what do I do with this 10 lakhs? Right? Some people would be like, I'm 25, I'm just going to put all my money in, small cap stocks. I'm very young, I want to see this money grow and all of that. But let me ask you something. If I need to pay the college tuition next year, can I put all my money in the stock market? Can I put my money in the stock market? Of course not. You cannot do that. So just because I'm 26 or 27 doesn't have anything to do with how much risk I can take. What matters at the end of the day is what that money is meant for. If that money is meant next year, it doesn't matter if I'm 25 or 26. At the same time, if your parents or if you're a senior citizen or whatever, if you're 45 or 55 or 60, it doesn't matter if you're 45 or 50 or 60. You still need to invest a significant amount of money in the stock market and not park all your money in FD. Otherwise, the money will run out and you will. Most people think that they will they'll retire at 60 and they have to make the money last for another 10, 15 years. But with the way the medical advancements are happening, it is predicted that most people's lifetime will be anywhere close to 90 years, especially the generation which is in 20s and 30s right now. They are expected to live up to 90 or 100 years because of medical advancements. So if you are putting your money in FD and all of that, putting all the money in FD, even when you are in your 60s, then that's a big problem. Now, you might not think it's a big problem because you're not 60, but think about your parents. Right? When I evaluated my parents' investments, I was like, bro, right? This money is eventually coming to me, and if you're putting all this money in FD, I'm going to be really pissed. So now I actually manage my parents' money as well because I know that is my inheritance eventually. Each one of you guys need to achieve that point with your parents, where your parents are trusting you enough to help them manage their hard-earned money because that is your inheritance at the end of the day. Generational wealth compounds only when you can also help manage your parents' wealth. Right? The next myth people think is investing means stock picking. Most people think that hey, I invest in this stock and I made so much returns last year. I'm trading money and all of that. And most people think that that is what investing is. There are so many things when it comes to investing. What about asset allocation? What about goal-based planning? What about risk planning with insurance? What about life insurance planning? What about tax planning? All of these things people don't want to learn because that is not sexy, right? Everybody wants to know how to trade, how to buy cryptocurrencies. Why? Because you guys are all hungry to get rich fast. But there is a method to the madness, guys. You need to learn the ABCs before going into the complicated stuff. But no, everybody thinks investing means stock picking, right? So that is another myth. And next myth is that life insurance that gives you money after the policy expires is better, right? And this is something that most of our parents have been a victim to, right? A lot of you guys, I'm sure, if you ask your parents, all of them would have some life insurance which your parents would have bought for you, right? Now, these are usually this money back and endowment policies by LIC, which is one of the worst investment options that is there in India today because they give you up to 5 to 6% post tax returns for a 20-year horizon. Right? It's absolute bullshit. Like even when you ask your parents, like you'll be like, "Hey, mommy, you have invested, you bought a life insurance for me, right? How much money will I get?" Your mom will be like, "Beta, when you turn, in the next, when you turn 30, you will get 5 lakhs." And you would be like, "That's it, just 5 lakhs." But that 5 lakh was a big amount of money when your mom bought it. When she bought it when you were born, that when the insurance agent told her, your son will get 5 lakhs when he turns 25 or 30, for that time it was a big amount of money, and that's how she got fooled. And she took it, right? She did not do the math. She did not calculate what is the net IRR of those investments. We're going to learn how to do all of that very, very soon. But the moral of the story is life insurance policies that gives you money back after the policy expires, please avoid. Only buy a simple term insurance policy which only gives you money if you die. That is the purpose of life insurance. If you die, my dependents, which could be my parents, my kids, my wife in my case, I'm not married, but yeah, that these people should get money in if I die. That is the only purpose of term insurance. So please do not get fooled by these insurance agents. Even if you know the concept, they are still going to come and try to manipulate you with complicated numbers, and you will get fooled. My dad has called me 3 times until now to buy a ULIP, and they never told him ULIP. They just have different fancy names for this. So now in my family there is a rule: if there is anything which is being marketed or pitched to my parents, they have to call. Anybody in my family, before buying any financial product which they don't understand, they have to call. And that should be the practice in most Indian families. Because if there is no one trusted person in your family circle or friend circle who can guide you, this is how mis-selling happens in the world of finance. And banks, who are, one of the most trusted entities in the country, the employees of the banks are doing this. Why? Because they have sales targets. So please do not get caught. Next is buying investment products from well-known companies. We're going to learn how to actually pick the right mutual funds without looking at the name, like whether it's SBI or whether it's HDFC. The names have nothing to do with whether you should buy that mutual fund. We look at quantitative parameters, and that is how you pick mutual funds. We'll get into that. That comes in the advanced section of this masterclass. It will be in the second half. Next, my CA will take care of everything. A lot of people assume that if I have a CA, then the CA is supposed to not just do my filing of taxes, also needs to do my tax planning, also needs to help me how to invest my money, also needs to help me pick my mutual funds, also needs to help me buy insurance products. Boss, CAs are not taught how to do all of this. Their only job is to manage your tax planning and file your taxes. But even then, what are you doing? When you don't have a CA 24/7, right? Only business owners can afford a CA the entire year. Most salaried people, which is most of the people over here, we don't have a CA whom we can call every day, right? We just go to that CA at the end of the year. We call up the CA during March or February to file the taxes. But by then it's already too late. There are so many things that you can do when it comes to tax planning. So many things that you can do in your salary restructuring. And we are going to learn some of these things in this masterclass to learn how to reduce your tax liability. But CAs are not going to be doing this because you only go to them at the end of the financial year. By then it's already too late. And picking mutual funds, life insurance planning, health insurance planning, all of this is not a CA's job. But we assume that the CA is supposed to do everything. And the next is, I don't need a separate health insurance policy. A lot of people assume that if I have a company health insurance, then I'm sorted. I don't need anything else. Right? Guys, if you are living in a metro city or in a tier 1 or tier 2 city, you need to have at least 20 to 25 lakhs of health insurance cover. Did you know that? You need to have at least 20 to 25 lakhs of health insurance cover. Right? How many of you have 20 to 25 lakhs of health insurance? How many of you don't have 20 lakhs of health insurance cover? Please say hi. Please say hi if you don't have 20 lakhs health insurance cover. As you can see, the chat section is just exploding. That is because most companies will give you like max 4 to 5 lakhs of health insurance cover. 4 to 5 lakhs of health insurance cover is what most employers give. Secondly, the health insurance policy which your employer gives you is usually a very cheap policy, right? It has many clauses like co-payment clause, disease-wise supplements. So there are many terms and conditions which actually screws you when you actually go to the hospital, which you don't know, right? So always have a separate health insurance policy. Not just that, you might think that, while I'm being employed, my health insurance cover is, let's say somebody might be like, Sharan, I have 10 lakh health insurance cover, so I'm not going to get a separate health insurance. But did you know that when you retire and you leave your job, that health insurance cover is gone? And if you want to get a separate health insurance policy at that point of time, you need to do another health checkup. And we all know what is happening to the health situation of Indians today. High cholesterol, high BP, all of these things are very common today. And did you know that even having a single stent in your heart, because if you have high cholesterol, your arteries get clogged. So they have to put a stent in your arteries to clear it up. Very standard procedure. But once you have that in your lifetime, 90% of health insurance companies will reject you. 90%. And even if they accept you, the cost will be very, very high. So please do me a favor. If you are in your 20s and 30s, don't trust your employer's health insurance blindly. Please get a separate health insurance policy as well, because when shit hits the fan, you're going to be paying a very, very high medical bill. And doesn't matter what stock investment, what trading, what mutual fund investments you've done, one incident like that, generational wealth gets wiped out, right? Wiped out. So don't be in that unfortunate group of people. All right, cool. Before we continue, guys, I just want to ask you guys, if you guys have learned something new so far, please type MB1. MB1 stands for Mind Blown 1. Right? You're going to go through a lot of MBs across the course of this masterclass. But if I have blown your mind so far, please type MB1. Mind Blown 1. All right, I can see hundreds and hundreds flowing in. Like 99 plus messages keep coming. So it's like, yes, you guys are learning something. Fantastic. All right. Now, before we understand how to calculate your retirement money, I want to share the first tool for tonight. Now we have unlearned all the myths that have been plaguing your learning. Now we're going to learn how to solidify your current investments. Before we learn how to make more money, let us learn how to solidify your current investments. So that brings me to the first tool of tonight, which is the financial organizer tool. Here's the thing, guys. In India, let me ask you a question, right? Let's say you have whatever investments you've made. You bought some mutual funds, you bought some life insurance policy, whatever. Let's say you die today. Right now you die. You're dead. Do you think your parents and your spouse and your kids know exactly how much money you have? Do you think that they know about it? See, a lot of you guys are saying no, right? A lot of you guys are saying no. Do you know, you're not alone by the way. Do you know what is the total amount of money that is unclaimed in bank accounts, FDs, mutual funds, and all of that? Do you know what the total amount in India today? Do you know what's the total amount? Somebody is saying 350 crores, somebody is saying 35,000 crores, 35 crores, 1,000 crore. It is 85,000 crores. $10 billion of Indian hard-earned money is lying unclaimed in savings account, FD, mutual funds, and life insurance policies, simply because you didn't tell. Why? Because you are like very. It's a taboo, right? Talking about money. You're like, why should I tell my kids? Why should I tell my wife? Why should I tell my husband? If they know, then I don't want to tell. That is the wrong mindset, guys. The correct thing to do is to put it in this financial organizer tool that you will be getting access to at the end of the masterclass. I'm just going to quickly show you what this tool is. Right? You put the important members of your family names over here. The contacts of your family, if you have a doctor, a financial advisor, lawyer, CA, and all of that. All your important bank account details, your important financial documents like your PAN card, passport, Aadhaar card. All this is important for them to log in, right? Because if, let's say, somebody in your family member died and they'll ask, okay, give me the Aadhaar card, PAN card. If you don't know, then you're screwed, right? Locker details, like my mom has been using locker for the last 20 years. They put their cash, their jewelry and all of that. I don't know where it is, right? So I need to know. Right? Online passwords, life insurance, health insurance policies, debit card, credit card details, their property details, like my parents, your parents will have some properties which they have not told you about. I need to know where it is. Any loans that they have, their investment account details, which mutual fund, which FDs, all of this. Right? Then what do you do next? Take a printout of this and give it to all the trusted members in your family. And delete it in your computer, obviously. You don't want it to just be in your laptop. Give that physical copy to all the important members in your family so that in case something happens to you, they know exactly how much money you have saved for them.
No.
Do you think this is going to be useful, guys? Will this be useful for you guys? Absolutely. A lot of people are saying yes, 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 yes. This tool will be given to you guys at the end of this masterclass. It might seem very simple, but because I've not done it. Sometimes it is the simple things in life that screws you, right? So don't let it screw you. You will be getting access to this. Very simple. Do this so that everybody in your family knows, not everybody, your important members of your family knows how much money you have saved for them. Right? Today, if I ask you, do you know how much money, how much inheritance you will get from your mom and dad? You don't know. Right? If you ask them to make a will for you, they'll slap you, right? They'll not tell you how much will and all. They're like, "What? I'm still alive. What? Ask me to make will and all, right?" So at least ask them to do this so that you know that okay, my mom and dad has made so much money for me, right? Cool. Going back, now let's understand calculating your retirement money. Remember, we said the point of this masterclass is to achieve financial independence. We don't want to work for the rest of our life. One day, that money should work for me. But what is that target? Let me ask you. Let's see in the chat section. How much do you think do you need in your bank account for you to stop working? Please type in the chat section. 50 crores, 10 crores, 7 crores, $1 billion, 10 crores, 150 crores, 100 crores, minimum 80 crores, 10 crores, 20 crores, 100 crores. See, all of you guys are just telling numbers out of thin air. There is actually a science to this, right? There's actually a science on how to calculate your retirement money. It goes to the principle of fire. Fire. The actual fire. It stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. It's a movement which was started in the United States in the late 1980s. It is based on the research paper published by the University of Dublin. They did this research paper to calculate exactly how much money you will need to retire. Now, that's a very complicated paper. So we've taken all of those learnings and put it in the FIRE number calculator tool so that you don't have to break your head. Right? So this is the second tool for tonight, guys. You will exactly know how much money you will need for your retirement once you use this tool. Very simple. You only have to worry about the green cells. First, you will put what is your desired monthly expenses today. For me, it is different for everybody, right? For me, it is 60,000 rupees per month. I'm happy. Like if I were living in not in Mumbai, of course, if I were to settle down for the rest of my life without having to work for money, it would be Bangalore. I love Bangalore city, right? Let's say I get 30,000 rupees monthly rent, I'll get a cash 2 BHK house, right? Bangaloreans, 30,000 rupees per month, cash 2 BHK house, and the remaining 30,000 rupees, my food comes. I'm not going out to office, right? Because I'm retired. And I need my food will come, Swiggy, Zomato, my maid will come, all of that things gets covered in 60,000 rupees per month, right? And the occasional one domestic vacation I can take. Again, this is not business class flight ticket, and 5 international vacations a year. No, it is not that. It is the minimum amount of money that you need every month to live a good life. Good life, right? I'm not talking about a luxurious life, a good life. That is 60,000 rupees per month for me. Now, somebody might ask me, Sharan, I have EMIs, I am not married yet, I don't know how many kids I'll have. Don't worry about all of that. EMIs you don't want to consider in this because eventually, once you retire, the assumption is that you don't have any EMIs at that point of time. So that is what you will consider. If you are not married or you don't know how many kids you will have, forget about it because you can update this every year. So that's the thing about financial planning. It's not a one-time thing. It is something that you will re-look at every year. So in today's situation, you understand how much money you need to lead a good life every month. For me, 60,000 rupees. I'm currently 28 years old. I want to retire at the age of 50. And I'm considering inflation at 7%. Now, this is important because some people might be like, Sharan, India's inflation is 5%. But hello, you are living in a city. Most of you are living in a metro city or in a tier 1 city. Half of India's population is farmers, right? That is why the India's inflation is 5% because farming population depends on rice and wheat. Your lifestyle doesn't depend on rice and wheat. Your lifestyle depends on Swiggy, Zomato, and whatever concerts are happening and whatever the alcohol price. All that affects your lifestyle, right? So inflation for most of you guys over here is 7%, right? Second. Yeah, somebody, Vinaya is asking, why did I not get you, Sharan, 15 years back? But you have me now, Vinaya. Congratulations for now coming here. I'm so happy to see you say that because, like you said, right, most people have not been taught all of this in schools. But I wanted to bring a change so that you guys can actually now learn how to do it without having to break your head, for, most people assume that if I'm not a CA or if I'm not an investment banker, if I'm not done a CFA degree, I will not be able to understand all of this. But I want to break that myth, simplify everything so that everybody can learn, whether you are a person who is a musician, an actor. There are, by the way, a lot of CAs also who attend this masterclass. So it's applicable and easy for everyone. Right? Cool. So this brings my yearly expenses to 7.2 lakhs. And at the age of 50, when I actually retire, I will need 32 lakhs a year as per inflation. Now we come to the main three numbers, which is important for us to achieve FIRE. First one is called Lean FIRE, 6.4 crores. If I have this number, I can actually maybe, stop working for like 4 to 5 years or something and experiment with my life. I might stop working in my, high paying but very, very emotionally draining job, which takes up 14 hours of my life every day. And maybe try to start a company, maybe become a freelancer, maybe take a gap year of 1 or 2 years. I have all of these options. Most people can never do this in their entire lifetime because they're like scared. I'm like, I have these EMIs, I have to pay for my kids' education, so I cannot stop working. But if you achieve Lean FIRE, you can actually do that. How beautiful is it? Like, I'll be like, okay, next 2 years I'm going to leave my job and just figure out. I'm just going to do a lot of experiments. Maybe I can start working on my startup idea, which I've always had, but I've never had the balls to do it, right? So all of these things you can do. Next is FIRE number, 9.6 crores. Now this number means you can actually sit and watch Netflix and chill for the rest of your life. That's what it means if you have achieved 9.6 crores. And the last 16 crores is FAT FIRE number. This means that you can maybe be a little bit more indulgent. I'll assume 6,000 rupees per month. I can actually maybe spend 1 lakh rupees per month and still not worry about it because FAT FIRE has been achieved. So maybe instead of going on 2 vacations every year, I can do 3 vacations. Instead of maybe going economic class all the time, I can go premium economy or a business class flight ticket. So that is what FAT FIRE number means. Now I know what you must be thinking. Sharan, I am making 50,000 rupees per month salary and you are telling me I need to make 6.4 crores? Really? What have you been smoking, bro? How many people are thinking like this? How many of you are thinking? Right? Yeah, a lot of people are saying me. Right? But don't worry, guys. That brings us to the eighth wonder of the world, compounding. Now, you guys have heard of compounding, but you guys don't know how beautiful it is. Let me just show you with the numbers why each and every one of you can achieve 6.5 crores in your lifetime. You guys ready? Right. So this is a step-up SIP calculator. You guys have heard of SIP. SIP is nothing but a systematic investment plan. It basically means how much money you're investing every month in an automatic manner. Step-up means every year you will increase it as well. Why? Because your income will increase, you will change your job, you're getting a bonus. So all of this we have to account for, right? So even if you assume 25,000 rupees per month investment, right? Now this is including your entire household, right? You and your spouse together. Now if you don't have this kind of money today, it's fine because eventually you will make, right? Today you might be in your 25 or 26. When you're 30, 35, it is easy to invest this kind of money, right? So even if you assume just 25,000 rupees per month and increase it by 10% every year and assume 12% returns growth, and I will teach you how to achieve 12% returns growth very soon. But if I assume 12% returns growth post-tax, very, very easy. Stock market has given 15% returns over the last 30 years. Where this assuming 12% returns. And time period, what is my time period? What did I say? 50 minus 28 is 22 years. 22 years if I put what will happen? 6.8 crores. So as you can see, it is not that hard to achieve 6.8 crores in our lifetime. Compounding is your best friend. Right? So that is how you achieve 6.8 crores and your Lean FIRE number. Right? Alright, you guys are satisfied now? I hope you guys are not like, it's very easy to do it. It just seems like a big number, but when you break it down, it's actually very, very easy. Right? Alright. Now, like I said, we're going to get into the very, very nitty-gritty details of whether to buy a house or rent a house and when to buy a house. You see, guys, you put a lot of thought into buying your outfit. You put a lot of thought whether you should buy that expensive sneakers. You put a lot of thought into which restaurant to go to. tonight for party. But you don't really think a lot about whether I should buy a house or rent a house. Because it's sort of like in your DNA that I have to buy a house. And I have to buy it as soon as I get married. Right? That is the sort of cultural ecosystem that is there in India today. Right? But if you ask yourself, right, there is no other purchase which will be as expensive as buying a house in your entire lifetime. Most houses today, which you might want to buy, 3 BHK house, is anywhere from 1.5 crores to 2 crores. But how much effort, how much time are you putting? How much thought are you putting in to decide whether you actually need to buy that house? But these are the justifications that you hear for buying the house ASAP. First, I am wasting money on rent every month. Might as well buy the house. Why am I making my landowner rich? Flash news, guys. When you buy a house, you are taking a loan. When you take a loan, the bank owns the house. You don't own the house. You pay rent to the bank. And how much more rent? Usually 2 to 3 times more rent. EMI. It's called EMI. Second, EMI is constant, but rent increases every year. Flash news, guys. EMI also can increase. Let me ask you guys, how many people's EMI has increased in the last 1 year? Please say hi. As you can see, the chat section is being flooded with hundreds and hundreds of hi. Right? The thing is, banks don't tell you this, but EMI, they also keep increasing. Right? I can save a lot of taxes when I get a home loan. A lot of people are told this. Bro, get a house. You can save a lot of taxes. Flash news. Even by staying on rent, you can save a lot of taxes. Have you not heard of HRA? Home rent allowance? That is nothing but tax savers. Now, I know what you must be thinking. Okay, Sharan, I'm still not confused. Show me the numbers. That is why we have created the most accurate rent versus buy a home calculator, which will help you predict exactly how much money you will save, whether when you're buying a house or renting a house, and it'll tell you exactly when should you buy your house. You guys excited to know how to use it? You guys wanna get access to this tool? You wanna get access to this tool? Awesome. Let's go. So let me just quickly open this. Yeah. So this is the third tool for tonight. Rent versus buy a home calculator. Now guys, there might be a lot of free tools available online. But let me tell you, I have gone through all of them. All of them are inaccurate because they don't go into every single minute details, and every detail matters because this is a 20-year decision. Just to show you how much depth it has gone into, look at all of this. All of this back calculation is there over here. Now, I don't want you to be afraid by looking at this. This is to show you what is going behind the picture. I have made everything open so that you guys know how it works. But if you don't want to know about all of this, if it's hurting your mind, just worry about these green cells. You just have to worry about green cells when it comes to using my tools. All these orange tools are formula cells. You don't have to worry. It's just for people who are finance nerds when they want to know how it works. Right? So the first thing is you put your tax slab, 30%. Now I want everybody to put 30% tax slab only because everybody is because it's a 20-year decision, and all of us will achieve more than 10 lakhs income at least in the next 4 or 5 years, right? Flat cost 1 crore. Interiors, usually people spend 10% of the value of the flat on interiors. Down payment, I'm going to assume 20%. I'm going to put 20% of the value of the house as down payment. What is down payment? When you go to the bank and say, yo, I need 1 crore to buy this house in Koramangala, they'll be like, boss, I need 20 lakhs first. And where does this 20 lakhs come from? It will come from your own savings. If you don't have savings, your mom and dad has to give you when you get married. Otherwise, you'll have to save for it. Right? That's another thing. So that's an opportunity cost. This 20 lakhs you have to give it to the bank. You could have invested somewhere else. But no, bank is like, you have to give me. So you have to give it to them. Annual interest rate of the loan, 8%. Current interest rate. And let's assume 8% for the rest of the 20 years. Number of applicants for home loan, 1. Annual increase in rent 5%. You can keep changing it as per your circumstances. Property appreciation rate 7%. This is the India average. You can assume a higher number if you are confident that you have identified some next level real estate opportunity next to the supposedly highway construction which is coming, or supposedly metro construction which is coming. If you are ready to take those bets, please put a higher number. But if you do not understand the real estate market, which most of us do not, don't listen to your brokers. Please put 7% if you do not understand how real estate works. Property maintenance cost 5%. It increases every year. Rental yield. This is very important. What is rental yield? I'll tell you. It is your annual rent divided by the property value. For example, this house which I'm living in Mumbai, I pay 1.5 lakh rent. which means I pay 18 lakhs in rent for the whole year. 1.5 into 12 is 18 lakhs. The value of this house is 6 crores. So my rental yield is 18 lakhs divided by 6 crores is about 2.5%. And in India, most rental yields are 2 to 3%. So that you can put over here. Property maintenance cost 0.5%. Now, if you know what your actual rent is, you can put that as well. You don't have to worry about rental yield then. If you know what your actual rent is, just put that value. 25,000 rupees is the rent for most 1 crore houses in Bangalore, and maintenance cost 3,000 rupees or whatever, right? So total rental expense 28,000 rupees. Now, this is also important. Investment returns 12%. Remember when I told you, you need to pay 20 lakhs of 20% down payment, 20 lakhs down payment to the bank. It could have been invested somewhere else at 12% returns. So that is called your opportunity cost. So that is 12%. And then the tax benefits that you guys are aware of, which people tell you, get a home loan to get tax benefits, that is being mentioned over here. So it might get a little complicated for you, but the simple thing is home loan comes under Section 80C, the principal component. But Section 80C already has other things like your provident fund, your real assets and all of that. So you add all of that and write here. Because if 80C has already been exhausted, then there is no point saving more taxes in home loan because it's already exhausted. Only 1.5 lakh limit. So 1 lakh in other, if you have already exhausted in ELSS and provident fund, you put it over here. What is remaining is what tax reductions you will get. Right? So you put all of those things, and my tool will exactly tell you, is it better to buy a house or rent a house? Right? So if you have purchased a home in your 20s, the property, let's say it's a 1 crore house, 20 years later, it would be worth 3.9 crores. You would have 50 lakhs of liquid assets. Liquid assets means money that you can spend. 3.9 crore house you can't spend because you're not going to sell the house. 50 lakh, where is this 50 lakhs coming from? Tax savings, right? This tax savings, there's a lot of complicated math which goes behind the picture, but that tax savings comes up to 50 lakhs at the end of 20 years. Had you rented the house, of course you don't own the house, so that is zero. But because you have been investing that money, for example, this 20 lakh down payment which you have saved and invested, that becomes 2.9 crores. Also, the EMI difference from rent and EMI. So EMI is 67,000 rupees for a 1 crore house, but the rent is just 28,000 rupees. So that difference you could have invested, that becomes 2.5 crores. So all of these things added up, HRA tax savings and all of that becomes 6 crores. Let me ask you, what is your lease fire number? What is your lease fire number? 6 crores. Lease fire number was 6 crores. So just by deciding to delay my house purchase and buy the house maybe in my 45 or 50, I have achieved my lease fire number. Then you can buy the house. Then you will be like, okay, the house now is 3.9 crores. Now if I get a home loan, right? Let's say the 6 crores, if I've invested in the right place, it can generate anywhere from 60 lakh rupees to 90 lakh rupees every year. Now for a 4 crore house, my monthly EMI is going to be somewhere around 3 lakhs, 3 to 4 lakhs. So I can comfortably pay for the EMI with the money that I have saved. Right? So that is how you think about buying a house. At least that's how I think. Right? Don't work for your home loan EMIs. Let the money work for you. Don't be shackled to your work just to pay the home loan EMIs. Instead, save up enough money, invest it in the right places so that extra money that it generates, pay for the home loan EMI. Easier said than done. I'm going to teach you how to invest that money as well in the next half of this masterclass. So please stay tuned for that. But I hope you guys have now understood why it is important to do this exercise so that you know whether buying a house right now makes sense or renting the house for up to 15-20 years so that you can delay that house purchase so that one day you don't have to work for it. The money works for you. So the simple thing that you need to ask yourself is, do you want to buy the house early and say, hey, I bought my house and show off? Sure. Or do you want to delay it so that you can achieve financial independence first and live a life where money doesn't control you? So that is the simple thing that I want you guys to think about. And guys, if I have really changed your way about thinking about whether to buy a house or rent a house, please type MB2 in the chat section. Right, I can see already in 99 plus within like 2 seconds it has gone, and then I don't know how many people have typed. So many people are saying MB2, which means you guys have really learned something which has not been told to you. And Just like the Indian society, right? They're just conditioned. Buy a house as soon as you get married. But you don't really understand what you're doing. Now you know what you're doing, right? So please use this tool. The tool will be sent to you at the end of the masterclass and decide for yourself whether you need to buy a house or rent a house and when to buy the house. But I know what you must be thinking. Some of you might still be like, Sharan, it's okay. I don't want to live my life on Excel. I still want to buy the house because my family has never owned a house. Buying a house is very emotional for me and so on and so forth. I understand where you're coming from, right? You guys are a different kind of people, so it's okay, right? But there are still some thumb rules that I want you to follow because if you don't follow these thumb rules, you will fall into significant financial burden. Number one thumb rule is the value of the house should be less than 5 times of your post-tax income and the EMI should be less than 40% of your post-tax income. If you are following these two rules, then you have my permission to buy a house whenever you want. Because most people don't follow these rules also, and then that's how the problem happens. Right? Cool. Now coming to asset allocation. After this, there will be a short break. 5 more minutes, and then there will be a short break so that for you guys to go to the washroom or whatever. So asset allocation is about understanding exactly how to divide your savings into different assets. So there are so many options you have, right? So let's get into the different options. But before that, I want you to write down all your financial goals, right? What are the things that you want out of life? You want a beautiful house, you want to buy cars, you want to plan for your retirement, you want to plan for your higher education, you want to buy an iPhone, you want to plan for your wedding, you want domestic vacations, international vacation, your kids' education, kids' marriage, your kids' house, all of that, make a big list of it. Write it. Write a big list of it. Second thing you will do is divide that into 3 buckets. Short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals.
Okay.
Right? Short-term goals are anything which are less than 3 years away. Medium-term goals is anything which is 3 to 6 years away. And the last long-term goal, which is the most important goal, is your retirement, your kids' education, your kids' marriage, and all of that. Right? So please divide that into 3 buckets. It's very, very important, and I'll tell you why. All right, that's done. Next, these are all the options that you have. You have the option to keep it as cash and under your mattress, or you have the option to open an FD or a savings account, or you have the option to invest in a debt fund. We'll cover what a debt fund is very, very soon in the next section of this masterclass after the break. So don't worry. So the number that you see below is the expected returns of this. Yeah. So the number that you see below these terms is the expected returns of these asset classes. Then this cryptocurrencies, there is gold, there is real estate. When I mean real estate, I mean REITs, which is like a mutual fund for office spaces. You can actually invest in office buildings with as little as 300 rupees through REITs. And they give you like the rental income as dividends. So then there is a stock market, and then there is alternate assets like your invoice discounting, investing in artwork, investing in what else? P2P fund lending. All of that is alternate assets, right? Now this is what you guys are doing. 77% of an average Indian's wealth is in real estate. 77%. This is as per RBI report. 10% is in gold. No shock there. And only 5% is in FDs and mutual funds and all of that. But that should be the majority of our investments. But that is not what's happening. Most of our money is tied up in the house that we are living in. And if you know the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket, clearly, having 77% of your money in one asset class is not a good investment decision. What should you do? For all your short-term goals, anything less than 3 years, put 100% of the money in an FD or other debt funds. I will teach you how to do that very, very soon. Anything which is 3 to 6 years away, 40% of the money in the stock market, which is domestic equity, which is India stock market, and 60% in debt. And the last, long-term goals, 60% in domestic stock market, 10% in US equity, 10% in debt, 5% in gold, 10% in real estate, and 5% in crypto, which is optional. If you're not comfortable with crypto, you can move this to gold and make it 10%. You guys can take screenshots over here because this is a very important core understanding that you need to know before we go to the next part of the masterclass. So I'll go back again. You can maybe take out your phone and take a screenshot. Short-term goal, 100% debt. Medium-term goal, 40% in equity, 60% in debt. And long-term goal, this is what you need to do. Right? Now you might be thinking, Charan, if it is just one goal, like maybe buying a house 5 years from now, then it is simple. Like I can just follow this asset allocation and do it simply. But I have a list of 10 goals. How do I keep a track of all of that? Like my mind will forget it. Is there like a place where I can do everything in one place? So for that, there is a special tool that we have made, but that is not a part of this masterclass because it's fairly complicated to use. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to explain. So I'm not going to teach in this masterclass. But if you are interested, I can show you a glimpse of it before we go to the break. If you guys are interested, I can show you. Are you guys interested? Yeah, I'll just show you guys quickly what it is. So we call it the Master Financial Planner tool. And this is something that we have built by talking to actual financial planners of the ultra wealthy. So these guys are people who manage money for, like people who have like, at least like 30, 40 crores of net worth. So I took all of their learnings and compiled that into this Master Financial Planner tool. So it's easy to use for the common man as well, right? So you can put all your financial goals over here, the priorities, time left for the goal, amount required today, amount required for the future, the SIP amount required. It divides that money into different asset classes. Then you can put your, all your mutual fund investments, right? What are the stock investments that you have? What is the asset allocation across various large cap, mid cap, small cap? How to do your SIP allocation across various mutual funds? All your debt investments, your FDs, your government investments like Provident Fund, Sukhana Samriddhi Yojana, all of these asset classes, it combines all of it. Then it comes in, then there is your portfolio recipe for short term, medium term, long term, your fire number, your budgeting, and then finally it comes into your net worth sheet and tells you exactly how your money should be divided across various asset classes. What is it currently doing? What is it supposed to be? So you can easily move around money and you can do this like every quarter or every year, right? So this is the Master Financial Planner tool, which is something which takes us a lot of time to explain, right? So coming back to our presentation, guys. So that brings us to the first half of our masterclass. Please type MB3 in the chat section if you guys have learned something special in the last 5 minutes. Please type MB3. Fantastic. I can see a lot of people typing MB3. All right. Now, before you guys go to the break, I want you guys to fill the masterclass ROI sheet. If you guys have decided to delay your home purchase based on what you learned today, please type the value of the house that you are thinking of buying. I'm going to type 1 crore, right? And this tool will tell you exactly how much money you will be saving over the next 20 years based on the EMI savings, the down payment investment savings, all of that it automatically calculates and tells you exactly how much money you have saved by deciding to delay your house purchase. And over the next 20 years, you will be saving close to 2 crore rupees by making this important decision. Of course, you can fill this later as well after getting the tool and putting your numbers. But if you are not if you have already bought a house, if you still want to buy the house, it's okay because we have a lot of exciting things coming up very, very soon, which will help you end up saving a lot of money by the end of this masterclass. There's another 1 hour to go, guys. I want to give a quick break now. Let me just second. Yeah. Let me just take a quick break. So if you guys are having fun, I want to take a quick screenshot. Let me just stop sharing. Right? Take a quick screenshot, guys, and please post it on your Instagram or whatever, and show off with your friends that I'm attending, I'm upskilling, I'm learning how to manage my money. I'm going to give you a short post, and you can post about this on your Instagram. Of course, I'm going to repost it if I like what you're saying. So post about this, and let's take a quick 2-minute break. You can go to the washroom. I'm also going to go to the washroom. I had a lot of coffee and I had a lot of water. And I'll see you in 2 minutes.
ஸ்டாப் ரெக்கார்டிங்.
இந்த பாஸ் இருக்குங்க. ஹலோ பாஸ் ஸ்டாப் ரெக்கார்டிங் பண்ணி பாஸ் பண்ணுங்க. பாஸ் பண்ணுங்க. ஸ்டாப் ரெக்கார்டிங் பண்ணு.
இதுக்கு
அது தேவையில்லாம காசு போகும்.
இது நீங்க ரெக்கார்டிங் பண்றது